Hey friends, this is Aaronica and welcome back to my channel. We kicked off the new year setting some really great intentions where I did a lot of talking, and honestly, I'm really proud of that video because I felt like it was super vulnerable, and you know what? I love that for us. But today, we're going to be talking about something that I think that everyone wants to know about, and that is how to make money as a sewist. Okay, so now listen, I understand that if money is not your goal as far as sewing goes, I get it. This may or may not be for you then. The reason why I say that it may be for you, because you might hear something that I say and you might be like, oh wait, I can do that. And you know what? Who's turning down extra money? Because that's actually how I felt about it when I got started. But before we get into that, let me give you all a little bit, just a scotch of background about how I got to kind of where I am in this like sewing space that I'm in now. So in 2015, I walked out of corporate America. I checked my deuces. I was like, peace. And when I did that, I was like, I'm going to become a full-time blogger. I had been writing on blogs that had gone popular, viral, etc. at the time since about 2006. When I decided in 2015, after I had my second child, I was like, I can do it. One of the other things that I did, because I don't believe in only having one stream of income set up, is I also started to sell baby harem like Ankara wax pants. They were the cutest. But listen, they went viral on Etsy. I got burnt out and I was like, no mas. So then I actually just continued blogging. My blog at the time was called The Crunchy Mommy. Shout out to y'all who have been rocking with me since that time. I see you. And then I won a couple of awards as a blogger, made a bunch of money, and then the pandemic hit. Y'all, the pandemic was rough on you, girl. Whew. Don't want to go back there again, so let's keep things healthy, okay, friends? But when I started out, like when the pandemic happened, I had already started the needle and the bell and I was sewing. I, in essence, started back sewing by like volunteering to test patterns when I was chosen. But until then, I was like really failing a lot. Like the amount of times that I made and failed at making leggings, whoosh, mind-blowing. But I learned a lot. I started testing patterns. I started hacking the hell out of patterns, and that's how I got noticed. So then I began to build this community that I have now, which is like one of the dopest communities in the world. And I also, during the pandemic, became a coach. Now, actually, prior to the pandemic, I had actually started blog coaching because, again, I'm an award-winning blogger. So it's like, yes, we want to learn from you. But after that, I also started coaching people on social media management, on community building, and other things like that. I have an MBA that concentrates in marketing, so I began to actually use the degrees that I was paying for. So, which leads me to where I am now. Now, in 2024, I am a blogger, I am a designer, I am a sewist, an influencer, a personality, a lot of things. And ultimately, at the end of the day, my goal is to help as many people as I possibly can create the life of their dreams. Now, for some of us, that does include making money from this craft of sewing, especially because if you love it so much, why not let it bring you a little bit of income? I mean, who's turning down money? So with that, let's go ahead and kick off the ways that you can go ahead and make some money as a sewist. First up, of course, I feel like this is probably going to be the obvious way, and that is by selling the things that you make. If you're an apparel sewist, or if you are a home sewist, or like by home sewist, I actually mean someone who makes like pillows and things for the home, or if you're a quilt artist, you can sell your wares. Now, if you're like Aaronica, but nobody wants to buy what I'm making, they probably do, right? And I get that right now, given the state of the world, you know, pockets can be a little tight, but people still love having exclusive items. Now, for me, when I started to actually sell the garments that I made, I was like, I don't really want a whole lot of out-of-pocket upfront costs. So one of the things that I started to do was pre-sales. I would make myself something, take some photos of it, take some pictures or share some fabric options and let people decide. And then from there, I used the money that they had paid to order the fabrics, make the garments, and ship them out. For me, that was the easiest way because I did not want upfront costs. If you're like, hey girl, how do I come up with how to charge? We can talk about it another time. Another thing that you can do, and this is one of the things that I feel like is most slept on in the sewing community, and that is really blogging. And of course I'm going to say blogging because I started out as a blogging coach, friends. Now, if you're like, okay, so blogs are dead. First of all, they're never dead. Normally when you do a Google search, whatever comes back is normally a blog, friends. Yeah. Like doctors write blogs, professionals write blogs, like CPAs write blogs, and this is the information that we're normally finding on the Google streets, right? Start a blog. If you're like, I'm not exactly sure if that's for me, don't worry. I actually sell blog coach packages below that are affordable. I have a self-paced one that I've deeply discounted and included the link here. If you're like, I need something one-on-one, don't worry, I got something for you towards the end of this video as well. But here's the power of blogging. You own that content, which means that you can fill it up with sponsored posts, which is another way to make money, right? So what does that mean, a sponsored post? That means when people want to work with you one-on-one, let's say, for example, like this here cup, which is one of my favorite cups right now, next to, of course, my simple modern cup. But let's say if this cup maker is like, hey, I really want you to promote this post, and you write an entire blog post about how this cup has helped you to increase your hydration, right? You can do the exact same I'm looking around my office and I'm like, where is anything that is related to sewing? I have nothing that is directly in front of me, which is bananas. I digress. But you can do that and charge a fee for it, right? Similarly, when you own your content and you own your website, when you do pattern tests or you use fabrics or you use like order things from Amazon or Etsy and that sort of thing, you get those affiliate links and you load that blog up with those affiliate links. And what are affiliate links? Now, I do feel like sometimes affiliate links get a bad rap unless you have a community that is like, babe, how can I support you? Now, my community is like, babe, how can I support you? Affiliate links, in essence, they cost nothing to the buyer, but they cost something to the seller, right? And the person who uses the affiliate link earns a percentage of the total cost of whatever the person has checked out. Now, the beautiful thing about affiliate links with, say, something like Amazon, is that those cookies last for like 60 to 90 days. So what are cookies? Aside from Cookie Monster's favorite snack. Cookies essentially mean that, like, let's say if I click on this affiliate link, if I leave the website and I come back maybe 5 days later, my affiliate link is still active as long as they did not click on anybody else's affiliate link. So now let's say, for example, I shared that I love my magnetic seam allowance. You've clicked the link and you're like, oh, I'm just not ready to purchase. But a week later, you're like, you know what? I'm actually ready to buy. You pull up Amazon, you go back to the magnetic seam allowance. I still get credit for that, which I think is a beautiful thing, because what that does is it allows me to help you and I still get a little payment for it. Affiliate links are amazing. Okay, so let's continue going on down the road of different options on how you can make money. Another way, of course, is create a YouTube channel. Now, I'm not going to lie and say, oh, YouTube is super easy, because you all have seen me pushing my channel and pushing out content and really working hard to create content for, okay, it hasn't been that long, but still, you guys have seen the work that I've been putting in. But here's the thing, once you monetize, then that means that all of the content that you begin to create begins to generate that income. And the truth of the matter is that YouTubers and the people who create content, we deserve to be paid. Now, I say that as someone who does sell products and services, as well as someone who is a content creator who gets paid for it. Why? Because the amount of time that I've taken already to go ahead and get ready to record this, like, come on, face card. You know, that does deserve payment, along with the intellectual property that I'm sharing with you all. it does deserve payment. Same thing with every other content creator. But content creators and influencers are not unique in the sense that they're the only ones who can do it. When you think about it, all of us are influencers. If you go ahead and you write an Amazon review about some gummy bears, about how they were the worst gummy bears that you had in your life, you have now influenced someone to either purchase or not purchase it, which means that anyone who has a voice or anyone who has a passion to share about their experience with a product or service is an influencer. It's okay to be paid for that, okay? Also, when you think about it, when someone has created a community, like I have worked really hard to create and nurture this community. I obviously haven't done a great job of turning the sound of my phone off. So sorry about that, friends. But when you work hard to create a community, you create, in essence, a trusted circle. Like when I think about the trusted circle, I always think of the circle of trust from Meet the Fockers. Fantastic movie. But you create the circle of trust. And now people trust what you say, which is the reason why I'm very intentional about the things that I say, because I would never want to abuse the trust that my community has given to me. But when you go onto YouTube, and YouTube, while it's not the fastest growing, because we know that the Clock app is actually the fastest growing social media platform out there, YouTube is actually one of the longest lasting social media networks out there. And it's because it's not actually social media. This is a video search engine. And people attend YouTube University all the time in hopes of bettering their life, learning something new, etc. So why not share your knowledge, your passion, etc. on YouTube and earn something from it? I remember I was actually, I was watching on YouTube about how this YouTuber had a faceless account, and his first faceless account brought him millions. So he created more faceless accounts. When I think about that, I don't feel bad. It brings me joy. Why? Because he was able to positively impact so many people that it made it so that people consistently tuned in for his content. What's something that you can share about that makes people feel the same way about you? I also feel like this one could also be another obvious option, and that is teaching, in person or online. The beautiful thing that came from the pandemic is that people were really ready to get onto Zoom University and get to learning. I remember my girlfriend Nikki from Sewing My Style was like, girl, you need to go ahead and set up your Zoom account so that way you can get people on, and you can be on for longer than 45 minutes and teach the people. You can teach people in person, in schools. You can find someplace that's local and set up classes, or you can just simply do it online. Now, I will say that doing it online, while it might be easier in the comforts of your home, I do feel like sometimes things can be a little bit better in person. So I highly encourage you to find a small location that allows you to rent out. Some places to check if you're like, where do I even get started with that, is definitely like your local community centers. Most libraries don't allow you to come in and sell for profit, that sort of thing. But your community center, you can generally like rent out a room, like a large room. I remember I rented a room for my daughter's second birthday, and I paid like $200 for 4 hours. I just wanted that to sink in. $200 for 4 hours. You figure if for your classes, right, you sell a certain amount of classes and you've already made a profit. So keep that in mind. Like if you are like, hey, I was born to teach, go ahead, baby, live in that gift. Live in that gift, online or in person, okay? The other thing is that when you're teaching, you don't necessarily have to have people come in with their sewing machines. Now, if you're anything like myself or my bae Julian, you might have a plethora of machines that people can use. But also this is a great opportunity to, one, teach about how to find a machine, and then encourage them to use your affiliate link to go ahead and purchase said machine. Okay, so teaching is a fantastic option. Okay, so now this option is something that I did for the very first time in 2023, and that was costuming. Y'all, yes, people pay costume designers. I don't know if you know that, but I just want you to do. Okay, so like I said before, my girlfriend Nikki was like, hey, I need some people to come in and help out with these costumes, and I did. People will pay you to create costumes. And when you think about costumes, a lot of times we get caught up in thinking about things that are like Comic-Con. That is not the only costume that is needed out in the world today. Sometimes the costumes are needed are something as basic as this, which is just your button-down dress. Now, I do love this dress because I made it for Frocktails, you know, when I was in New York, and it's got like the raglan sleeve. I digress. I'm sorry. Got excited about the dress. but it doesn't have to be anything as complicated as that, right? Plus, there are literally patterns out there for everything, whether it is a costume pattern or not. You can find a pattern for pretty much anything. But definitely, if you don't have a problem sewing for other people, costume design could be for you. Another great person who really made me rethink my commitment to whether or not I could do costumes was Trisha from Creative Costume Academy, who is a professional costume designer. Y'all, there is money to be made out there, okay? And you don't have to go to school for it, because they just need them clothes to fit. They need for those people who get in there to do the fittings to be able to make those garments fit those bodies, and that's that. And we know as sewists, everybody is very different. And as long as you can pinch, spread, slash, and spread, babe, you can do it. I believe in you, okay? One of the other really great things that you can do also is, of course, freelance work. So let me pause to get a little drink. I love this cup. Since I'm still post-surgery, I'm drinking liquid IV out of it after not getting enough water in yesterday. And I just love it so much. Anyway, so freelance work. Now, let's say if you're like, hey, I actually don't want to start my own shop. I just kind of want to be like, I could just like help you out. One of my friends, Brandon Happily Dressed, I feel like I talk about him all the time, but he actually was a freelance sewist for Glad and Young bags. He also designed a bag as well. But when he did the sewing, it's not like he was responsible for the sales. He was literally just sewing the same thing and making money as he was doing it, because it's something that he loves. He loves sewing. So freelance work, or actually being employed as a sewist, is definitely an option. The beautiful thing about that is, like, you can see people posting for jobs in different groups. I don't know if people are trusting Craigslist anymore, because, you know, folks were getting like on there, but definitely hit up some of those groups, especially around prom season, prom wedding season. People are looking for people to make those prom dresses, make those wedding dresses. And all I'm saying is that you don't have to start your own business or be out there like advertising hard in order to do that. Which leads me to the next one: become an alteration specialist. Yes, baby. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I did not think that alterations were for me, but I actually have on my dress form a dress that's waiting for me to alter it right now. But here's the thing: my girl Monda's Threads, I'm gonna make sure I tag her below, she makes it look super easy. Is it easy? I think once you get out of your head, it can be a little easier. But here's the thing: becoming an alteration specialist is definitely something that is very, very feasible, right? You really just need to understand the art of making clothing fit the body. It can be as easy as hemming something, taking something in, finding creative ways to make a garment fit while looking good. I am a chronic rule breaker, so y'all already know I'm gonna say there are no rules that you have to follow to alter things. I mean, I'm sure that there are, but at the end of the day, if it fits and it looks good, baby, you're an alteration specialist. So you're welcome, and welcome to the world. Now, I'm going to say this as something completely separate than a blogger, but become an influencer, right? Again, I think that, one, I hate the term influencer, right? Because influencers are essentially one-person advertising agencies, but I love doing this so much. Like, I love that I have this community. I love coming on and talking to you. I love helping you all. I love the impact that I get to have on people's lives, right? Because I do take it very seriously. And for me, it's something that's super fulfilling. Like, as a pattern tester, I was able to help hundreds of patterns be produced. And produced in a way that fits the plus size body. Y'all, like, that pushes inclusivity. And to be completely honest, that makes me feel really, really amazing and accomplished. So an influencer is absolutely something. So how do you make money as an influencer? With affiliate sales, we went over that. With specific product sponsorships, brand ambassadorships, okay? Like, there are absolutely ways out there to go ahead and do it, okay? The final one that I'm going to share, I do feel like, is another bit of an obvious one, and that is design your own patterns to sell. Yeah, that's right, friends. I never thought that I would actually become a pattern designer. I had taken a pattern design course a long time ago. I've never taken one in person because I learned the lines of my body and how they look. I have always loved puzzles, and I think of patterns as puzzle pieces. So when it came time to design and create those, that's just how my brain worked. I was like, cool, this is like a super fun puzzle piece or puzzle that I'm putting together. But if you're like, oh, well, the market is too saturated, it's too this, it's too that, babe, it doesn't have you in it. So it's not too anything. So one of the things that I would tell the people who I would coach with their blogging is that, yes, a market might be saturated, but no one does it the way that you do it. So don't ever allow someone to make you feel like simply because someone else has a raglan pattern that your raglan pattern will not be different or not be good or not be accepted. The community that you create is always going to want to support you. So just remember that, okay, friends? So if you're like, hey girl, you sold me, I'm ready to make money with my sewing skills, definitely get started. If you need help, I am a business coach, and I'm offering 50% off 10 spots of my one-on-one coaching if that is for you. If you are ready to go ahead and take it to the next level, but you just don't have any idea on how to do it, definitely just drop a comment that says Biz Bestie in the comment section, and I will reach out to you and send you the link on how you can book some time with me. But let's make 2024 more. And in that making 2024 more, let's make more money, okay, babe? Because if we are over here making pretend that money doesn't count or doesn't matter, we're living a lie. Because it does. It does. And it's okay. Because money allows freedom to do the things that we love, like sew and craft. All right, friends, happy sewing, and I will check y'all next time. Make sure that you like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and all of those fun things. Until next time.